are in the house. Gridiron 360. Dave, Bill, we're moving into the AFC with our NFL free agency conversation. It is currently Monday, the 16th of March, and we are quarantined to our homes due to the coronavirus. Lots been happening. We are now officially the 16th of the 18th of March is the basically the market's open for trades, cuts, tags, the whole 9 yards. So that we roll into Wednesday when free agency officially opens up. So I'm going to update everybody right now. Is that cool, Dave?
Let's do it.
I'm going to update everybody as far as things we know. This is obviously post us putting out our NFC free agency conversations. So there's updates. So we'll start. I'm going to go through the NFC stuff that has happened. First of all, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, there's interest in Tom Brady. Apparently that is real. But Chicago was engaging with Teddy Bridgewater. We find out that's not happening. So you may see Tampa Bay veer towards Bridgewater. We don't, likely, our thoughts are the GOAT's going to remain in New England, and Tampa Bay will probably get Bridgewater.
My belief that I've talked about, and I think you've been in the same vein, is that even though there is this opportunity for chaos in the quarterback market, I just really felt like we'd find more than not guys were coming back home.
Yep. I mean, the Chargers, we thought could still be a suitor, but if it's not staying home, Tampa Bay and the Chargers look like the most likely landing spots, but I don't know that that's going to happen. Let's move on. The Los Angeles Rams are seeking value for Mr. Todd Gurley. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are looking to re-sign Jason Pierre-Paul. The Atlanta Falcons release running back Devonta Freeman. We talked about their troubles in our last cast. They signed him to a 5-year, $41.25 million deal back in 2017. Yep. He's had injury problems since and is certainly not the running back worth that value. There's conversation about the Los Angeles Rams again to potentially release wide receiver Brandon Cooks. That would be his fourth team in so many years?
They're looking for trade partners, but the problem in these scenarios with a lot of these players is when other teams know you're in cap hell, a lot of them will sit on the sidelines and wait for you to make the cut and lose no value in the trade.
Okay. The San Francisco 49ers have re-signed defensive lineman Eric Armstead. That is a 5-year...
$85 million.
$85 million deal?
Yep.
That's what it is. My scribble scrabble. 5-year, $85 million. That's a monster. He's good, though. Minnesota Vikings extend Mr. Kirk Cousins 2 more years for $16 million.
Yep.
The Green Bay Packers signed Cleveland's linebacker Christian Kirksey. That's a 2-year, $16 million deal. The Buffalo Bills. I'm staying in the NFC. The Washington Redskins. Nope. That's it. That's all of those. I haven't gotten into tags. So let's go in to the news happening in the AFC. The Buffalo Bills signed Josh Norman, the cornerback from Washington. It's a 1-year deal for $6 million.
Yep.
Let's see. The Cleveland Browns have come to terms with Austin Hooper. Do you know what that deal was?
It's $41 million total. I want to say it's 4 years.
I thought it was like 21 guaranteed or
21,
something.
yeah, it's 21 guaranteed. I believe it's 41 overall. I will tell you here shortly what the term is on that.
Okay. The real thing, I guess the real conversation there is Njoku, David Njoku, tight end, is going to his 4th year or something, and
yep. He's going to be.
They might release him.
He's going to be available via trade probably at the very least. He's still on his rookie deal if he's in his 4th year, so it's probably pretty cheap because he was I think a 3rd or a 4th rounder when he came out of Miami, so it can't be too hefty of a signing. So that's some I guess a little bit of capital they might have to make some moves. Let's see.
You're still looking up Austin Hooper?
I am looking up Austin Hooper.
Okay.
By the way, you mentioned JPP looking to re-sign him. He has been re-upped on a 2-year, $27 million deal as of now.
It's a good deal for him.
So that's official.
Okay. Now we will move to the happenings in the AFC because we will be talking about that today. We'll start with the AFC East today. After we update you, we'll stop this, put the updates out, and then we'll go in team by team. NFC, the Indianapolis
Sorry. Let me just interrupt you one last time because I just found it. 4 years, $44 million for Austin Hooper.
Okay.
$21 million is the right number, guaranteed.
Okay. The Indianapolis Colts are showing interest in Mr. Phillip Rivers.
Yep.
Let's see. Two things that we know actually have happened, both regarding the Miami Dolphins, who we will start off with. Number one, they signed Eric Flowers, offensive lineman, retread from the Giants to Washington,
right?
I think.
Washington.
And yeah, he's poop. Miami, though, he went to the University of Miami. 3 year, $30 million.
Yeah, not
and a bunch guaranteed. The other thing that Miami has done is sign Shaq Lawson, D-end out of Buffalo. That's a 3 year, $30 million deal. Shaq's coming on, my Clemson guy. So that's what we have there for updates in the AFC. Now I'm going to roll through transition tags again. NFC first, then AFC. Cool?
franchise tags.
Sorry, franchise tags. Dallas Cowboys. Who'd they franchise tag?
I believe it was Mr. Dak, the hip flip Prescott.
Very good, very good. How about the Washington Redskins?
Who did Washington tag?
I don't know. This is a fun game. Offensive guard Brandon Scherf.
Oh, they did tag Scherf.
Somebody that could have been a
right.
big free agent.
All right.
All right. The New York Giants.
They tagged their the guy they traded for last year and gave up a little bit there for him in Leonard Williams.
Yep, D-tackle Leonard. That makes sense.
Well, there's no way they could let him walk.
Yeah, we can't let him walk. Otherwise, we just gave away stuff.
And mind you, they still, all of these, let's just restate this, franchise tags, I believe we said was July 15th, I think you came up with a few podcasts ago. They have that much time to sign these guys to long-term deals.
Yep. Let's see. We'll move on. Tampa Bay. Who'd they tag?
They tagged Mr. Is it Shaquille or is it just Shaq? Shaquille Barrett.
Shaq.
Shaq
Outside
Barrett.
linebacker Shaq Barrett. Arizona Cardinals. Who'd they tag?
Arizona Cardinals tag Kenyon Drake, right?
Yeah, it's a transition tag.
Okay. Oh, it's a transition, which means they can match anything if anybody signs them. No compensation.
Okay, and that's all the tags I have to date for the NFC. Okay?
Well, also Minnesota. Minnesota tag.
Oh,
their
sorry,
safety,
I do have
Anthony
that. I do
Harris.
have Anthony Harris, Minnesota. My apologies.
Yep, no problem.
Mixed in there. All right, now we'll move to the tags in the AFC that I've got. The Los Angeles Chargers tagged
I don't know who they tagged. Who they tagged?
Hunter Henry.
Oh, that's right, Hunter. Oh, that was one of the first tags.
One of
yeah,
the first
Hunter,
ones.
Hunter Henry. Yep.
Jacksonville, much to his chagrin, they tagged
Ngakwe.
Yannick Ngakoue.
But he is also understand that Jacksonville, because they are clearly in a full blow up, is definitely a potential sign and trade character.
Yep. The Baltimore Ravens.
They tagged Mr. Judon.
Outside linebacker Matthew Judon.
Yep.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Tagged Chris Jones, D-tackle-ish, endish kind of guy.
Yep, D-tackle. Denver Broncos, Justin Simmons, safety.
Yep.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Tagged Bud Dupree, outside linebacker.
Tennessee Titans.
Was it Justin Simmons?
No, that was Denver. Tennessee.
Oh, no, they did Henry.
Derrick
Derrick
running
Henry
back.
did get the tag, yeah.
New England Patriots.
Tagged. Ooh, this is tough. Who did they tag? I don't know.
Left guard.
Oh, Thuney.
Yep, Joe Thuney. And last but not least, as far as what I have here, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Ugh, this one's ugly. AJ Green. He did get his tag, and I'm sure he is ecstatic about that.
Okay. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about in this update before we stop it, how much time are we at?
We're at the 10 spot.
All right. The big deal, the big daddy went down today. The biggest thing that's happened thus far this offseason.
WTF. What am I WTFing about?
My boy Nuke. My boy
It's not. Let me
Nuke,
just say,
man.
if you've ever listened
Now,
to any of this,
look.
you've heard Mr. Clemson Southwest, secondary team guy here. So this one stings a little bit
This
for the man
stings
across
for me
the
because
across
I've
the way.
always said I don't have the Giants are my team. I never really had a second team, but since there's you had all my Clemson boys, in particular Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Nuke the Bomb Hopkins over in Houston, and they're in the AFC. No harm, no foul. But now a piece of that is gone. I even heard, I told you before, that Nuke was pining to get Sammy Watkins, who might be up to get out there for the in the offseason to bring him from Kansas City over to Houston. And then you've got the triad. Yeah, not so much. How does Deshaun Watson feel? Apparently, this deal was they traded the Houston Texans traded DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver, to the Arizona Cardinals for running back David Johnson. Shell of what he was, that breakout year he had, particularly in fantasy football. Let's see. They basically traded fourth rounders. Houston gets a fourth next year for a fourth this year, I think, for Arizona, right? And then Houston also gets a second this year. Is that right?
I feel like one of those is deferred till next year. I will tell you right now, but it is. But the answer is yes. David Johnson goes with a second and a fourth rounder. I will confirm the years, but also a fourth comes with Mr. Hopkins to Arizona. So,
I mean, look, this is there's a lot of people. There's already people are blowing up Twitter, players, teammates, the media. What a stupid thing this was. Why'd you let go of him in Houston? I mean, for Arizona, kudos to them. Kyler Murray's already out there like doing the jig. He's made some social posts, and rightfully so. I mean, this is great and Cliff Kingsbury's got to be like, in a nice warm bubble bath right now. I mean,
the fourth rounder going to Houston is next year.
That's right.
The fourth rounder going to Arizona and the second rounder going to Houston, both of those are this year.
Right, that's what I said. Okay, so
yeah,
there was
right.
They traded, they picked up each other's contracts. I'm assuming and the trades for the picks this year were Arizona gets a fourth this year from Houston. Houston gets a second, and then next year Arizona will get a fourth, or Houston will get another fourth. From Arizona.
Yes. Now, understand there's the contract difference here is Hopkins has, I believe, 3 years remaining on his current deal. And David Johnson, I'm verifying this just to make sure I'm right, but my belief is when we talked about it before is in the last year of his deal. So a team that was starving a little bit for running back help, he certainly took a big hit last year. They made some trades, did some things, things didn't really work out. But they gave up one of probably the top three, if not, I would say number two, probably going into the year, maybe even the number one receiver in the NFL in DeAndre Hopkins, who's still got a lot of tread left on those tires, whereas David Johnson, can you get 16 games out of him?
Well, I mean, like, and what are you going to do now at receiver? Will Fuller's now the one. You got Kenny Stills. I know they re-signed. Like,
I'm wrong. He has 2 more years left on his
Fells
deal,
or whatever, and you got Akins, the tight ends, but and you got I think Hyde his contract's up, and you still got what's the kid Duke Johnson, but I mean, oh, dude.
I mean, let's put it this way: David Johnson 3 years ago, as far as skill set and more particularly as far as health.
It would be an even. It might be an even trade only because it helps the backfield, which they need. But at this point in time, this is. I don't know what to say, man. I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. I mean, all the best to Nuke, and I hope that Deshaun and all get along. Without him, I mean, I had mentioned outside. I mean, they're going to be now in the market for a wide receiver. I think particularly in the draft, they're going to try to do it.
Yeah, now here's what's kind of interesting about this trade is understand, even though Hopkins is the do-everything kind of receiver, this year in particular, which was kind of surprising, he was relegated to more of a possession receiver in that offense. It's just kind of the way it worked out. But everybody knows he has the skills to stretch the field if given the opportunity. Again, they brought in Kenny Stills on the Laramie Tunsil trade.
Yep.
And this is a team that has sold out. They don't have a first rounder this year, so their capital to work with isn't very good. But you got to remember Will Fuller, who in that when Hopkins was playing, the short to intermediate routes and playing that possession and the shorter 50-50 balls, Fuller was effective, but he was injured a lot.
He has not played a full
that's-
season
yeah.
since he's been in the NFL.
And that is going to be, and again, you've already got a guy in Deshaun Watson who spends entirely too much time either staring at the ceiling or running for his life. So they've already got issues on offense. And if you're going to give him a guy that he can't get rid of the ball with quickly, even when it's contested, it's going to be a real challenge for them. I mean, Houston is going to have to do they're going to have to be very active. They're going to have to be creative too, as well. I don't remember you'd have it there, what the cap space is on them, but they're not, oozing with money. So the question becomes, is this a team that maybe I have a thought for you.
Cap space wise, they are number 11 with 48 million.
All right. So they're not terrible, but they're pretty strong there. But I would say is this maybe a team that one thing you didn't mention that's been going out, a lot of cryptic tweets from Stephon Diggs in Minnesota with making it sound like maybe he's on his way out the door. Is this a team that gets active with a guy like that?
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah.
They may try to do that and then get another young buck in the draft. Now, keep in mind, they're going to have 2 picks in the second round now, right? Yeah, because they don't have a first-round pick. So they have the pick now from Arizona in the second round, and then they'll have their pick, which is number 57 in the second. So, yes, I think they'll go after a wide receiver like that. That could make tons of sense. I could see that, yes. Yes, I agree. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. That's your updates. Give it a listen, and we're going to jump into the AFC East.